Coming up next, it's Pinky and the Brain.
Warner Brothers is for commentary purposes. Please understand and thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe!
Gee, Brain, what do you want to do tonight?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius, the other's insane. They're laboratory mice. Their genes have been spiced. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Before each night is done, their plan will be unfurled by the dawning of the sun. He'll take over the world. The Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. Their twilight campaign is easy to explain. To prove their mousy worth, they'll overthrow the earth. They're Pinky and the Brain. Brain, 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 brain. Starve!
Hi everyone! Princess Lifelights here, and welcome back to my channel.
Gotcha! We go!
Call me Coco. I am the mermaid princess of the South Pacific Ocean.
My name is Karen. I am the mermaid princess of the Antarctic Ocean. My name is Noelle, and I am the mermaid princess of the Arctic Ocean. I am the pretty guardian who fights for love and for courage. I am Sailor Jupiter. I'll fill you with breath. It'll leave you numb. My name is Sarasa. I am E.T.'s sister. Hey, don't forget about me. I'm Roka, and I am Sarasa's sister-in-law.
This is Soma. The animal is the zodiac that symbolizes ancient science.
Call me Hirosoma. The animal that symbolizes the zodiac is the sheep, and that is me.
A fine pleasure to meet you. My name is Kokoko. My name is Amukinamori. I can transform into Amulet Heart, Amulet Spade, Amulet Clover, Amulet Diamond, Amulet Angel, Amulet Devil, and Amulet Fortune. Hello, my name is Lydia. I can transform into Iron Heart.
My name is Vert. I can transform into Green Heart. I am Mika Robin, a treasure hunter. Pleasure to meet you.
My name is Kaylee.
I am Ochako Uraka.
Let's go! Hey! Nice to meet you!
Call me Nejire Haro.
I am Ika Tendo. Pleasure to meet you. What's up, a black star? I'm the moment.
I am the head of the Maruri family. Recap Maruri.
I am Kaname Chidori. It's a pleasure.
My name is Hestia. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi there, I'm Machi. Nice to meet you. I am called Rola. Be grateful. I'm not giving you any punishment.
I am Lapicel. Pleased to meet you.
You can call me Sister Nana.
Nice to meet you. My name is Snow White. Pleasure to meet you.
Abada. I'm Nikita 1. And I'm Nikita 2. My name is Hikaru Shido. I represent the element of fire.
My name is Fuhoshi, and I represent the element of wind.
I'm Umi Ryuzaki, and I represent the element of water.
Hi, I'm Happy. I'm an exceed from Italia, and a member of the Fairy Tale Guild.
Good day, I'm Carla. I am an exceed as well. And we are also in the Fairy Tale Guild.
Hey there, I'm Wendy Marble. I'm a Sky Dragon Slayer.
My name is Maria Combo. I'm the only son of Fairy Tale's mage, Matao Combo. And I'm a mage of the Fairy Tale Guild.
I'm Tano Kosho. I am the mermaid princess of the South Atlantic Ocean.
Glad to meet you. I'm Rina Toy, and I am the princess of the North Atlantic Ocean.
Hiya, I'm Manatsu. It's a pleasure. Hi, I'm Ari. Nice to meet you. Call me Sumatori. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Becky, and I'm the head of one.
I am Stella. Anna! I'm down! Hey, I'm Julia.
Pleasure to meet you.
heard that? Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Hey there, I'm Carter from Bethany.
Hi everyone, here's your host, Girl Mimi.
With the pulsating power of a driving disco rhythm, who's the queen of the boogie beat? I tribute summon Diane Keto, the Boogie Master!
Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly. Hi everyone, it's Kimberly. Hi, I'm Jasmine, a cheerleader. Hi, I'm Kasumi Tachikawa. And I'm Coraline. So let's get the show on the road.
Now this is the last review that me and Gabe Lombala are doing, so next year, hopefully there will be a few more, and Freakazoid. This is released in 1995 and ran until 1998, my birth year. Pinky and the Brain was Warner Brothers Animation's call to The Simpsons after failing on primetime due to network demands by Jamie Kellner, president of the CW at the time. Kids WB pushed it to Saturday mornings in order to let kids tune it with parents, young and old adults and teenagers, after a bit of primetime fail. Against CBS and Fox, Warner Brothers decided to pull time plug on the animated hit. Now let's go over the development of Pinky and the Brain. Following the popularity of Pinky and the Brain on Animaniacs, a standalone version has been conceptualized and released on the WB. It's rumored that the first half-hour narrative, Spellbound, acted out as a test pilot of shorts. The series launched on September 1995 on both the regular WB primetime schedule and the Kids WB block. Executive Jamie Kellner, in particular, wanted to push the show in primetime. The decision was later reduced beginning with Season 2, following lower ratings than anticipated due to competing against the CBS program 60 Minutes. Bearing the occasional holiday special debut or rerun, the program was kept on exclusively on Kids WB for the remainder of its run. Pinky and the Brain is still faithful to the original Animaniacs segments, having the same style of humor and writing that appealed to children and adults. Most of the same people who worked on the original Animaniacs, such as Peter Hastings, worked on the spin-off, and Charles M. Howell IV and Gordon Bressak, in particular, taking on even larger roles as writers. And the "Are you pondering what I'm pondering?" running gag continued. There are, however, still some differences from its original counterpart. The range is in minor inclusions, such as Pinky adopting the catchphrase "Troz, it's Zort in a mirror," to some major differences. The Mice's classic theme song is extended in its most well-known form, and includes the iconic "Narf" at the end. The show has also added new characters such as Snowball, Romy, Roman numeral 1, Mr. Sultana, and Larry. Billy from the original Animaniacs cartoon The World Can Wait also made a few appearances. In addition, the characters of Pinky and the Brain themselves have received more character development. Pinky's accent became less Cockney, while Brain's voice became higher, becoming of what Maurice LaMarche describes as 1/3 Vincent Price and 2/3 Orson Welles. In the original Animaniacs, his voice was close to Orson Welles alone. Both mice also became more expressive, with Brain in particular becoming less robotic than he was back on the original Animaniacs. These developments have carried into later productions, including the last 3 seasons of the original Animaniacs. This series also gained a soundtrack album, Bubba Bob Brain, based off of the Animaniacs cartoon of the same name. During the second season, the WB demanded the show to be modified and to be more sitcom-like, with an emphasis on the duo each having children, being married to other characters, and living in the same neighborhood a la the Flintstones and the Simpsons. And this was met with resistance by the crew, resulting in episodes such as Brinky, Pinky and the Brain, and Larry. And a script intended to be in the Retool's pilot that would later be reworked into "You'll never eat food pellets in this town again." Fed up with the executives meddling, producer Peter Hastings would later leave the program and join ABC's new Disney's One Saturday Morning block with Paul Rudd. Keep in mind that we have been doing this content since day one, and now let's go over the plot of Pinky and the Brain together.
The names of great conquerors are few and fearsome. Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, the guy whose fist you attacked with your face in the 5th grade. And now 2 more. Pinky and the Brain are the names. World domination is the aim. The 2 genetically modified Acme Labs mice began toon life in supporting segments of Animaniacs, but humble origins could not keep those wannabe rulers in landing their own show. Today, TV tomorrow. The world, with the persistence even Wile E. Coyote genius would admire. Methodical brain and no-brainer sidekick Pinky execute one flawed gadget-driven scheme after another. Now then, let's go over the characters and their personalities. Pinky, on the other hand, we might have noticed that he is insane, as described in the intro. He's optimistic and entirely oblivious to most everything happening around him. He's often unfocused, naive, and forgetful, as well as friendly, open-minded, and loyal. He's almost happy and hyperactive, and seems to be living in his own little world inside his head, but he has a huge but unconventional imagination because of it. Just to be honest, he is also with his assistant and roommate of the Brain, on the other hand, who is much more smarter, and he is the genius. And he is incredibly intelligent and believes himself to be quite logical. He tends to often speak as himself for a snarky, deadpan tone, and he tends to make himself appear unemotional and cold. And he often makes incredibly complicated plans in hopes of taking over the world and establishing itself as a ruler. However, these plans will often fail due to an overlooked flaw. Either something he neglected to notice or an incident caused by Pinky. And however many times this occurs, he refuses to be deterred from his goal, and gets over preparing for the following night's plan. Initially, Snowball was an ordinary hamster and close friends with the Brain during their childhood. When the gene splicer malfunctioned with Snowball inside, although it made him highly intelligent, it also seemed to have a serious side effect on his mind. And from that point onward, Snowball's grip on reality grew weaker by the day, making him eventually deny his friendship with Brain, declaring him his enemy and turning him into a vindictive, uncaring, and aggressive hamster. Snowball is deceptive and manipulative, constantly telling lies so he can get what he wants. This is demonstrated by how he lies to Pinky and successfully convinces him that Brain uses him by stealing brilliant ideas and calling them his own. Later on, in frustration, he reveals to Pinky that he was using him to get back at Brain for foiling his chain letter scheme. He also appears to spy on his former friend to steal his schemes for world domination. Being biologically created and raised by both Pinky and the Brain, Romy has what could have been seen as a combination of their 2 personalities. He's incredibly intelligent and often referencing works of classic literature and scientific names, but also has Pinky's more unusual personality traits, as well as showing a wonder for the world and arts that aren't as present in Brain. He begins to rebel against his father's expectations, mainly Brain's. Upon reaching adulthood, he shows a dislike for bickering and Brain's dehumanization of him. Although, Romy later accepts Brain's apology for this treatment and is generally shown to love both of his dads, just to make sure that he eventually, just doing a favor for Pinky over Brain, is likely due to Pinky's emotional availability. And here we have Larry, an obvious parody of Larry Fine of the Three Stooges, given the same hairstyle. And like his human counterpart, he acts as a middleman between Brain's intellect and Pinky's stupidity. While accompanying the doodle on one of their schemes, he does little except constantly introducing himself and providing useless observations. His entire character revolves at around the fact that he's Larry, which he often points out and that he has no other real traits to speak of. Despite this, the one episode featuring him treats him as if he is always part of the main cast, and although never seen on screen beyond his cameo appearance, Larry is referred to by both Pinky and the Brain in subsequent episodes. The show received plenty of nominations. In 1996, they received
an award for Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Animated Program. They won. And Best Achievement for Voice Acting, they won. Best Individual Achievement Storyboarding, they won. And they even got nominated for the Music Direction and Composition and Achievement in Animation, as well as in 1997. They got nominated for Outstanding Children's Animated Program, Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program, and Best Animated TV Program. So, they only won one thing in that year, 1997. It was Best Achievement in Voice Acting, male. And they even got nominated for the 25th Daytime Emmy Awards, as well. In the 26th Annie Awards, the awards that they won were Outstanding Individual Achievement for Voice Acting by a Male Performer in Animated Television Production, Outstanding Individual Achievement for Storyboarding in an Animated Television Production, Outstanding Writing in an Animated Television Production, and they won in the 3rd Annual Prism Awards as well. And they even won in the 26th Daytime Emmy Awards for Outstanding Special Class Animated Program and Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program.
Thank you, Konami. With that being said and done, I think it's time we all headed into the spoiler section.
Ah, spoiler alert!
What would happen if Star Wars and Animaniacs were put in a blender? This was the final Pinky in the Brain episode. Star Warners is the answer. The episode, which includes many of the Animaniacs cast, is a Star Wars parody of A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. With Pinky in the Brain as 3PO and Brain 2 Me 2 planning to use the Megastar as for their galactic domination plans. On the way, the two become entangled in an adventure to save Princess Dot from the menacing Girth plots, who schemes to use the Megastar for his own nefarious purposes.
Did you know that?
The cartoon was rarely seen in reruns. One notable re-airing occurred in 1999 in Kids WB to celebrate the release of The Phantom Menace. The episode's gag credit word, philosophy, is theorized to represent Brain's general improbable desires to take over the world or galaxy in this episode case. It is also theorized to be a jab at Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain, the retold desire by executives that failed to win over the show's own crew and fans. Like Wacko's Wish, many regular and minor characters appear throughout the cartoon. A few Looney Tunes characters can also be found. Dot's 5-year mission line is a reference to the opening lines for the Star Trek intro, which were originally spoken by Captain James T. Kirk, portrayed by William Shatner. Wacko's Luke Skywalker costume looks similar to an outfit he wears in Hercules Yakko. And if this episode were under the production count of Animaniacs, then this would have counted as our 100th episode. Rita, Buttons, and Run do not appear. When Wax Skylicker, Brain 2 Me 2, and 3PO go to find Slappy, 3PO thinks that Slappy, Run, and Nappy will help get him a brain. The scene after, they perform a brief musical number parodying that we're off to see the wizard dance in The Wizard of Oz. Whack even asked if they had wandered into the wrong movie. The cantina is named the studio of Mos Eisner, a play on the names of Mos Eisley Cantina and the former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. During the cantina scene, the Tiny Toons robot character Clyde appears alongside Looney Tunes star Egghead Jr. The two were initial part of the initial pre-production Animaniacs lineup, but they were scrapped from the final roster. A band consisting of Freakazoid, Fanboy, and Moron appeared during the cantina scene, performing a Star Wars-style arrangement of the Freakazoid theme song. Several Star Trek characters can be seen in the cantina, including Captain James T. Kirk, Mr. Spock, Dr. McCoy, Captain Picard, and a Goran waitress. The cantina's bartender is a caricature of Humphrey Bogart's portrayal of Rick Blaine in a 1942 film Casablanca. And while pitching her pilot, Slappy says her show is like The Lucy Show but with a squirrel. The Lucy Show is a sitcom starring Lucille Ball and was a follow-up to I Love Lucy. I Love Slappy is a reference to I Love Lucy, a 1950 sitcom starring Lucy Ball. Spacefeld is a parody of Seinfeld, a sitcom starring Jerry Seinfeld. The alien family on the comedy planet resembles the Jetsons. Despite being a parody of the original Star Wars trilogy, there were a few concepts from the episode that ended up being similar to the elements in future Star Wars media. Pinky C-3PO has similar characteristics to a battle droid pawn. Slappy portraying a spoof of Obi-Wan Kenobi, here a female Jedi-like warrior. Female Jedis would later be explored in the future Star Wars media through characters such as Rey. Hello Nurse portrays a female stormtrooper in this cartoon. Captain Phasma, a female stormtrooper, would later debut in Star Wars The Force Awakens. In the end, the ending chorus that calls Pinky in the Brain, 3 Pinky in the Fridge, as the lyrics scroll and the brain replies, I am not a refrigerator. Then a 4-dot ellipses appears, dot by dot as the chorus resumes, dot, 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 dot.
Now you know!
Overall, the show was a success on the network, but it sadly ended in 1998 along with Animaniacs. Let's just talk about this show's cancellation. The reason why Pinky and the Brain ended in 1998 along with Animaniacs cancellation, it was due to Kids WB making an agreement with 4Kids Entertainment and Nintendo over Pokemon the series, and it's considered as a baton pass. Isn't it correct, Pikachu? But here's the bad part. Eventually, the original Pinky and the Brain was cancelled, but an executive proposed a last-minute save for the program by adding Elmira Duff into the series, and this would eventually lead to yet another spin-off called Pinky, Elmira, and the Brain. It kept the same ending credits song as the series, but with a different background painting set in Elmira's bedroom. This show's bad reception and short run-in was a factor for Steven Spielberg's lack of interest in producing cartoons with Warner Brothers until the Animaniacs reboot 21 years later. Both episodes of this program and Elmira would be shown as part of the Big Cartoony Show, a compilation on Kids WB from 1999 through 2000, with Elmira being dropped entirely earlier in 1999 because of executive meddling. Because honestly, when it comes to executive meddling, I have a feeling the Warner Brothers staff would just at least try to talk some sense into it, and then it would become a loud argument and then a violent brawl. Because honestly, I think that's what made Peter Hastings quit, because I think he just had it up to here. And I can tell that Steven Spielberg actually kind of understood his pain. Because me and Gabe watched this when we were both kids, we give Pinky and the Brain a 4.5 out of 5, and Gabe gives the show rating a 9 out of 10. And before we go into the end, that we want to say that this is the last Team Pikachu we have been working on since last year, and we thank you all for the support. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. What do you think? If you appreciate it, please be sure to super smash that like button, and be sure to follow my social media platforms in the description below, and Team Lifelights fandom channels. Please be sure to leave a comment below, and please give us your open-minded thoughts, because we here at Team Lifelights fandoms do not condone harassment, violence, or trolls allowed, or otherwise, Ren Howick from Comedy Central's The Ren and Stimpy Show will haunt you down till the ends of the Shadow Realm. Please be sure to subscribe to our videos and click the notification bell. You'll never miss a video the second it goes live on YouTube and Google. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!